Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan, and today's video I'm going to be talking about some makeup products that have replaced my older favorite products. So in case you're wondering, okay, what's currently my favorite products? Okay, is this better than this? For me personally, I think this video would clear the air out because every single time I recommend a newer foundation or a newer product and you guys ask me, okay, is this still better than that one which you recommended? All of these products which I recommended in the past are still really nice products. It's just that my preference has changed over time, and I think change is constant. You just try out a lot of new products and then you tend to see what really works out for you the most, and you tend to stick to different products. As in, when time progresses, your skin changes and your preference also changes along with it. So let's get started. So the first one I want to be talking about is this Embryollis Late Cream Concentrate. This is a really nice product. It's used by a lot of makeup artists around the world. So it's something that actually moisturizes your skin, and at the same time it also primes your skin for makeup. I feel like it's a really nice product, but I feel like this is really pricey, and you get 30 ml of product in this. So in India, this size of the product, that is the 30 ml one, retails for I think 1,200, at least when I got it, and the bigger size of this is for 2,200 rupees, which I feel like it is a little bit pricey, and you might run out of this a little faster because the consistency of this is a little like runny. So for winter months, and if you have dry skin, you will tend to use this up a little bit faster. So I'm always on the lookout for alternatives. I'm always on the lookout for something that I like a little bit better than my usual products. So that's, I think, part of the job. Like when I'm trying out so many products, I'm trying to see, okay, if this is better than that, okay, is this more value for money? So in that terms, I find that the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Primer works out much better for my skin type, and also in terms of price point. So this one you get 30 ml again for around 350 rupees on a discount. Otherwise this is priced at 495, I think, and this is a really nice primer. So if you have normal skin, you can use just a little amount of it, or if you have dry skin and during the winter months, you can go a little heavy handed, and it makes the foundation look really nice and dewy. It goes on really smooth, and I am just loving this primer, and this is what I reach out for the most out of all of my primers of late. Especially during this time, I am loving this primer, and I'm so glad I actually gave this one a shot. You can see me recommend this in the next couple of videos as well, and in the past videos as well, because I am loving this, and this has turned out to be one of my favorite products of late. So, and next up I'm going to be talking about a foundation which I have used quite a lot, recommended to so many people like my subscribers, the people in my close circle. All of them have bought it because I've recommended it, and I still do use it, and I still do like it. This one is the PAC HD liquid foundation. So I figured that I've actually used up this much of this product. This is my second bottle because the other one that I got, I think, was in the shade 2.2, which I found it to be a little bit light. 2.3. So I found it to be a little bit light, and then I got the shade 2.5, which I still feel like is a little bit light. I think the right shade match for my skin tone, like an NC42, would be 3.1. At least that's what foundation.com let me know. So this is a really nice foundation. I used to love this as long as I didn't have that much of texture on my skin, and I didn't really look out for coverage as such. This is a really good foundation. It gives you medium coverage. You have to build on it a little bit to get it to medium coverage, and it looks very nice. But very textured skin, I personally feel like it is emphasizing that a little bit more than this one. So this is my current favorite. This is the PAC Spotlight Liquid Foundation. This you get 1.35 fluid ounce. That is 40 ml of product, and this retails for 1,030. This one is for 850. This is comparatively a little bit cheaper and a little bit more glowier. Okay, so if you want a little bit more of that dewy skin-like finish, I think you would really like this. But I like this side, which I have on this side of my face, and it's not as glowy, but I have a lot of texture right here, okay? And I feel like this foundation doesn't emphasize it that much. So if you have dry skin, I think if you just prep your skin really well, you can still pull this one off, or you can just stick to PAC HD foundation. But off late, like on my own, I tend to reach out for this one. I feel like it's not clinging onto anything on my face. It's giving me really good coverage. So I just used the same amount of product in both the foundations. So I just use like a pump, not lavishly, just like scared one pump because I have to use this on both the sides of my face, and I found that with this I had to use a little bit more product to get it to medium coverage, and this one, just that initial pump was enough and it gave me really good coverage. So it depends on you, depends on your preference and what you really like. You can choose either one of this. Both of these are really good foundations. They photograph pretty well, but maybe if you have dry skin, I think you can stick to PAC HD foundation. And if you have like normal skin with a little bit of texture issues and oily skin, I think you can really try out the PAC Spotlight liquid foundation. I think you would really like that. And then we have another concealer that I used to use so much back in the day, and I have recommended it quite a few times, especially as a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape concealer. This one is the Makeup Revolution Concealer and Define Full Coverage Concealer. So I used to really like this because back in the day you wouldn't get that many concealers with good coverage and that finish, you know. So I found this one to be like okay, quite similar to the Tarte Shape Tape. But today I was trying to use it. One, I broke the applicator because the product has dried down. Like the concealer has dried down in the tube itself. I'm not able to pick up the product as much. And I'm not a big fan of the coverage it gives, given that I have tried out so many other concealers and the lasting power of this. And something that I have been recently loving and have been using quite a bit is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This can be very drying for your under eye area if you have dry under eyes. Like even for me, it can be a little bit drying, especially during this time of the year. It's great for the summer months, but during the winter I do feel like it is a little bit drying, but I like this one so much better, and this one is so much more comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape concealer in my opinion, and it gives you really good coverage with very little amount of product. You have to set both of this to make it a little bit more long lasting, but even without setting it, like towards the rest of my eye, I feel like the e.l.f. Camo Concealer stays pretty well. Just towards the inner corner it fades away a little bit, and they have pretty good shade options in the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Matte Concealer, but not the creamy one. This is something that I have genuinely been reaching out for, and it has become one of my newer favorite products. I do have a lot of favorite concealers, but compared to the ones like in the past and something that is quite similar in terms of finish and coverage, I feel like this is something that I can use over the Makeup Revolution concealer. And then for powder, I used to recommend this non-stop. I still do use this, okay? Any product I have in my collection, I still find a way to use most of it because I don't want anything to go waste, and I'm always constantly comparing it with something else, finding dupes, doing this. So it's like a library of products that I have that I always put to use every now and then. So this one is the Makeup Revolution Luxury Powder in the shade Banana. So initially, okay, this was the only loose powder that I found was good value for money. You get a lot of quantity and it was really affordable. It was that banana powder which didn't look too yellow but not too white. Like if you've tried out the NYX banana powder, the pressed one, it's a little bit too white, like translucent as opposed to a banana powder. But this one gave you the brightening, it gave you the kind of like setting that you would really like. But I feel like right now there are so many brands that are coming up with loose powders, and even with similar packaging. This one is the NYX Insight Banana Loose Powder. So this again, you get 40 grams of product, and this I feel like is a little bit more brightening compared to the Makeup Revolution Loose Powder, and it also sets the concealer in place really well and holds it in place even better than that without drying it out. It's like smooth and finely milled. So it's what I've used on both the sides of my eyes. So on the left side of my eye, I have the Makeup Revolution Loose Powder, and on the right side I have the Insight Loose Powder. So when I was looking at my eye really close, I feel like the Makeup Revolution one does kind of cake up underneath my eye, and it was making it look a little bit dry, whereas this one was holding my concealer in place so much better and so much more smooth looking. If you have dry under eye, both of this might be a little bit too drying, and I feel like powders in general would make your under eye area look a little bit more dry. And then a pressed powder, like a powder foundation, which I used to really like. This one is a Lakme 925 Primer Plus Matte Powder Foundation. I used to use this on a daily basis, especially to set my concealer, because I used to use concealer a lot around my mouth. And this is a really nice pressed powder, but you can use it just like that, not like a powder foundation where it gives you a lot of coverage. I don't feel like this one gives you a lot of coverage, but it sets it really well and it gives you that smooth finish. But if you are someone who's looking for a good powder foundation, and I feel like even better than the Lakme 9 to 5 powder foundation is the Color Bar 24-hour wear powder foundation. This one is so much better in terms of shade range, in terms of coverage, in terms of the finish it gives. I feel like it really gives a really nice smooth finish. It doesn't transfer onto your mask, it stays in place, and it doesn't move and budge as much. So this is a really nice powder if you want to incorporate it into your everyday routine. You can use this underneath your eyes as well if you don't really have very dry under eye area. Otherwise it might dry your under eye area out, so just keep that in mind. So you can choose according to your skin tone. You get shades for your skin tone. You don't really have to resort to the 5 shades or 6 shades that Lakme provides. You can try out this one. Of course, this is a little bit more pricier than the Lakme powder foundation. In case you're looking for coverage and shade selection and just better performance, you can try out this one. And next up for color corrector, I have the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD Concealer. So this one is a really nice color corrector. I'm not going to deny that, especially if you have intense pigmentation and for deeper skin tones, this is a really nice color corrector. But I find it to be a little bit too orange, and if I have to mask the orange of that color corrector, I have to use a lot of product for that. And then also I feel like over time the formula does change a little bit, where it gets a little bit runny and liquidy, and you don't get the kind of performance you got initially. And also it is 495 rupees. So I found a cheaper alternative which I feel like it gives you similar performance, and it turns out to be a lot more cheaper for me. And especially that I'm going to be running out of this quite fast, I needed an alternative, and so I resorted to using that alternative a lot more than this one. Is the Mars orange color corrector. I really like it. It has a little bit of like salmon undertone to it, and I feel like it is not as intense as this one, and it also blends really well. It corrects whatever you want to be corrected, and it's just a cheaper alternative. So off late I am reaching out for this one so much more than the LA Girl orange color corrector, but that is a really good product, not denying that. And then for blush, we have the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Mellow Wine. So I used to use this non-stop. I still do use this, and it's one of those blushes again that would work for any eye makeup, and it's so blendable. It doesn't cling onto your skin, and it doesn't highlight any of that texture. Just a beautiful shade of blush. But off late, I think, I've been receiving these comments that the formula of this one has changed, and the shade is also a little bit different, because I noticed that even the packaging of this blush is not similar. So if I were to hit pan on this one, I don't think I will be repurchasing this, because I found something which I started to reach out for so much more than this one. It is the Color Bar blush in this shade Sweet Scarlet. I really like this tone of blush. Even though they look very different in the pan, on the face they pretty much translate the same. I really like the formula of this one as well. It's pigmented and it just goes on really smooth on my face. So I wouldn't probably be repurchasing this in case I were to hit pan on this, which I think it would take a little while because I have so many products, and because a blush is a lot harder to hit pan on. But I found something that I like just as much as that, and in fact has taken over it ever since I have found this one. And then one of my all-time favorite bronzers. This one is the Sephora pressed powder. It is a compact powder, but I got this one in the shade Deep. And this is such a nice powder, but I'm not sure if you can find this anymore, or even if I can recommend it as much, because it's quite pricey for just a face powder. And because of that, I started to find alternatives and start to reach out for something more, especially in my videos, especially when I wanted to recommend. And eventually this one did take a back seat. And the one that I've started to love over that and started to use a lot more is the Sugar Contour Day Force Mini Bronzer in the shade 02 Woody Wonder. So I feel like the tone of that bronzer, I get it in this. I mean, this is a face powder, so I get that same tone in this. It has a nice formula. It is super affordable, and it is something that I genuinely do reach out for when I'm getting ready, no matter where I want to go. Just add a little bit of warmth. This one quickly did take over. And next up, a lipstick. Okay, so this one is the Maybelline Creamy Matte Lipstick. This one is in the shade Nude Nuance. I really like this one. I love the shade. This is my everyday lipstick. I have used this one so much, but I intentionally put this one away because I love the shade and I cannot imagine running out of this one. And because The formula of the Maybelline Creamy Matte lipsticks have changed. I'm not very sure if I'd ever repurchase this particular shade again until unless they go back to this formula, which I don't think that's ever going to happen. So the current formula is a little bit sheer, a little bit too sheeny looking, and it's not my favorite. So I feel like if you wanted something like that and pretty good nude options, something that is long lasting, which the Maybelline Creamy Matte lipsticks are not long lasting. They are really nice and pigmented, but they smudge and fade away from your lips really easily. So if you wanted something long lasting but good nude options and not very drying on your lips, doesn't emphasize any dryness and texture, which again the Maybelline lipstick can do, you would really like this one like me. This one is the Kiro Lush Moist Matte Lipstick. This one is a little bit pricey. When I did that video with them, a lot of you guys were mentioning that, okay, this is a little bit too pricey. I get it. It is 8.99 rupees and you get 4.2 grams of product. I think you can shop this when they have some discount sale going on, because I can see that on Amazon and other places, they do go on really good discount deal. But the formulation, the comfort factor it gives and the way it stays on your lips, you would forget that this is not a high-end lipstick at all. It is so nice on your lips. No matter what sort of dryness you have, no matter what sort of texture you have, it just sits so well. And one of my favorite nude shades currently, because I have put a rest to my nude nuance, is Nude Garnet. And this is such a nice shade. And it goes on so smooth. And I'm always having some kind of flakiness on my lips, some kind of dryness, and it doesn't emphasize it, and it settles to a very lightweight finish. You know, it doesn't feel waxy on your lips. It's so lightweight, and you can use this underneath mask as well. It does smudge a bit. It is a bullet lipstick, but it's not too much, and it has a decent wear time. I have tested this one out so many times, and this has quickly turned out to be my favorite lipstick formula currently. But if you don't really like the price point, of course, you don't have to buy everything I recommend. I'm just here to tell you guys my thoughts, my updated favorites and all of that. But nobody is pushing you to buy anything, okay? Never on my channel, be it sponsored, non-sponsored. You just can watch it. You want to buy it or you don't want to buy it, that's up to you. You can take my opinion or don't have to at all. It's not a problem, but I'm just here because that's what I can do, right? I can talk to you guys about my opinion, my favorites, all of that. But purchasing is in your hand. Next up is something that I used to like so much, but I feel like over the time, the formula changes. It dries down in the tube. It doesn't perform as well. Is the Wet n Wild liquid lipstick. I have this one in the shade Give Me Mocha and this one in the shade Berry Recognized. Two of the shades that I used to use so much, and I have stopped using them because I feel like they're not pigmented enough, and my Give Me Mocha, it's completely gone, okay? It used to be very dry, so I put some primer oil in this and tried to revive it, but that changed the formula of this. This never really dries down on my lips completely, so I just use this only if I have to swatch it or find something similar to it, which I'm still hunting for a shade that is quite similar to Give Me Mocha. And same with Berry Recognize, it is a little bit like dry on the tube. I don't get the pigmentation that I originally got when I got this liquid lipstick. So of course, as a normal human being, I want something that performs better and doesn't really dry out that fast, doesn't really dry out on my lips, doesn't really dry out on the tubes. So I moved on to something that I genuinely do enjoy using these days. These are the two liquid lipsticks that I feel like are very comparable and really nice shade options. One is the PAC Retro Matte Gloss. They have so many different shades. I think they have about 40 shades. You can choose whichever one you want. I like the formula of this. This one is a little bit more moussier, and so it settles very comfortable on your lips, and it has the same wear time like your Wet n Wild liquid lipstick. I really like this one. It has never really dried my lips out. And the other one is the Kiro liquid lipstick, and especially in the shade Cinnamon Nude. I'm trying to compensate for my Give Me Mocha with all of these shades, and I really love this. Have used it so much. Have so many shades from this. Even the deeper shades do not go on patchy, do not go on like dry, flaky, nothing. It just goes on smooth, pigmented. It's very comfortable on your lips and it has a really good wear time. I have worn this underneath mask as well. So yeah, those were all the products I wanted to talk to you guys about. These are the products that I'm genuinely reaching out for so much more. They have turned out to be my current favorite products that I love over my past favorite products. So I thought this would be a fun video to make so that you guys will get an updated version of my favorites in one video. In case you are like, okay, why are you not talking about this? Why are you not talking about that? Maybe I have an answer for you in this video. So let me know what products you used to love and now you like something a little little bit more than that product in the comments down below. It'll be so much fun to read that. Let me know in the comments section down below, and while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Why don't you leave it all to me?